improvement project was over at Mathia Pilot, Pleasant Valley Middle School here. Walter Givens, Pleasant Valley Middle School principal. I did a 4-week study of looking at the increase of Mathia to help increase the iReady math scores. I know there's a need in our school for improving in our math KP. Only 13.225% of our 7th grade students actually earn a level 3 or more. That means they're college and career ready on a Kansas assessment program. So level 3 represents grade level and level 4 is college and career ready. And so I want to see how we can increase our levels here on iReady. We're correlated directly with increasing scores on the CAP. So we're going to increase those levels with student increased use of Mathia, which is an online based instrument to help kids study their math and get some curriculum studies done that way. So the fun part was a literature review. Very, very hard with Mathia, since it is by a Carnegie research program. I did look at mobile learning, utilizing technology, and then having math confidence, increasing the lack of confidence in there. There's some studies saying that technology use is very, very needed for students, in order for them to learn math and also help with our parents. Also with Mathia, it's an online basic tutoring component for our parents too. And so it gives them 3 chances to make a mistake and 4 chances to tell them the right answer. So we know that at elementary school is where they get these levels of lack of confidence. And so the research says that we need to help build this confidence with parents. And so I looked at their research, and Mathia is one of those ways that can help parents get more familiar with the math that the students are learning and also help their students out also. Collaborative vision looked at increasing the Mathia usage, and that was for after school rec. They have a 30-minute period where they have a tutor time or time to do homework, so that's an opportunity for them to get on Mathia at that time. After school tutoring, which goes from 3:20 until 4:20. Every day they had the opportunity to get on Mathia there to help increase those levels. So I utilized 3 7th grade math teachers, 7 total classes, around 230 students were involved in this collaborative vision. So data collection methodology, iReady was a system used to track student progress in math, and Mathia usage was tracked also. So 2 different systems that were able to track the usage of Mathia, and then the last component is iReady, looking at what their scores would be. The research design was a quasi-experimental project. I compared the Mathia use between 6th and 7th grade, and I have that data there. It focused on growth and iReady for 7th grade students to compare their growth from before the initiative to after the initiative of increasing the use of Mathia. And the research site was here at Pleasant Valley Middle School. Our district is too large to do a pilot for the whole district, so I kind of use my school as a design. Other schools have other initiatives going on, so that's why we kept our research just here at Pleasant Valley. Again, I just used a 4-week study for this to increase their Mathia would help increase the iReady scores. Participants, Ms. Martin has 4 of our classes. Ms. Krishner had 3 classes, Ms. Flynn had 1 class. 10-grade class breaks down into 122 females, 108 males. And so traditionally, females don't do so well in our math and the STEM type of classes, but we'll see in the results that they do a lot better here. 74% of our student body is Hispanic for 7th grade, 14% Caucasian, 9% African American, and 3% mixed. So instrumentation that I utilize for the kids to keep track of what's on your desk right here. There's just a log that they can track for what they did outside of class, Sunday through Saturday. I know a lot of our students did not have access at home. And so that's one of the components where those who did kind of help the scores out. Those who didn't had a little bit of trouble getting on the Mathia, and that's one thing I'm going to look at later on. I'll talk about the needs assessment for next steps. That's information that they utilize for themselves. I can track electronically, so that's for the kids to have a visual knowledge of how they can track it, and for me, I can look at it electronically from each teacher how much use that they were doing. Professional learning and supervisory plan, math numbers were low our first quarter. We did have professional development for all of our math teachers over Mathia and already and institutionalized that into the curriculum. There's the tracking sheets that I showed you, and administration, when I was monitoring, the teachers also monitored those use of the Mathia, seeing that was an increase. So data analysis of results. We have the 6th grade students up here, 7th grade is the one I targeted, and 8th grade. Overall, 73.4%, higher rate than any of the other two. And then also our usage in time. Year to date, for that one period, 9 hours and 56 minutes. So for our usage period for that 4-week period, our 7th grade is at 2 hours and 13 minutes. 8th grade is at 1 hour and 52 minutes, but our 7th grade class is 2 hours and 46 minutes. So there's a little bit more usage at 7th grade because we made a concerted effort to increase the Mathia use for our 7th grade classes. And so that was kind of panned out that it did help in that area. The results, this is one particular student. This particular student had a 33% growth rate from this increase in use of Mathia. So the I-rated scores went up 33 points, which is exactly the kind of lift that I was looking for. I was expecting this type of huge jump, which is a great gain. And so that was one that I kind of highlighted so you can see, actually see that I-rated is all these sheets for all of the students. Each one, so I had to compile it together for these results right here. The 7th grade math in minutes higher than 6th grade and 8th grade, 2.5 hours more than 6th grade, 3 hours more than 8th grade. Now, rated growth of 8 points or more is what I looked at. There was some growth, but it wasn't 8 points or more. I didn't count that. So 38 overall students out of the 20 and 30 students, so that represents about 60% of all 7th graders had a lift, which is a pretty good lift for just that 4-week study. Our average growth for females is 28 points. Average for our males is 25 points. So our girls did perform a little bit better than our males. For our IEP students, those who have an IEP, students, 15% of those in the 7th grade class, 7 classes. Final students had growth of 8%, 8 points or more. 3 females had average growth was 11 points, and 2 males average growth was 18 points. So there is lift, and then in increasing the use of Mathia on the I-rated scores, which was what I was looking for. So some of the next steps. Share this finding with the staff in January. Also to challenge all grade levels to increase the use of Mathia, that it does work. Do it outside of the school time, at home, if possible, over the weekends. And also look for funds to assist students access to Mathia. I know a lot of students don't have access at home, but maybe getting with the Cox Communications, and also maybe getting some computers that we accessing our teachers' computers. Saving some of those, I can loan those out for students over the weekend and help them increase their levels at home with Mathia. That's all that I have for right now. So looking forward to the next steps and hopefully get some grants to help students become better in Mathia usage, and also for the best thing, increasing their CAP scores. Thank you.